Elijah is a Tishbite. He's a mighty prophet of God, y'all. Elijah is an action-oriented individual. Wherever you see Elijah, you see miracles, you see high activity. He's a highly active prophet. And Ahab is worried about Elijah, as we see Obadiah explaining to Elijah. Ahab is hunting Elijah, somewhat like Saul hunted David. Ahab is on the lookout for Elijah. Elijah is public enemy number one to Ahab's kingdom, because Ahab knows that his kingdom is unrighteous. All that he and Jezebel are doing is completely in contradiction to what God has established. And Ahab will use his power and his influence to put people in seats and have them follow his corrupt activities, so that they are all in alignment with the level of corruption that Ahab and Jezebel are exhibiting. What corruption are they exhibiting? When you get down to the meat of what they're doing, you got to fast forward to this showdown that would happen between Ahab and Jezebel, because it tells you exactly why Ahab is afraid. And it gives you a door to open and walk through for you to realize why these people would even do such things, why they would continuously honor these gods and not align to the God of Israel. Chapter 18, verse 17. And it came to pass, when Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, Art thou he that troubleth Israel? Ahab. He doesn't see any error in his ways. Ahab legitimately thinks he's right. How? He says, Art thou that troubleth Israel? Aren't you the one that gives us so much trouble? We're fine without you. You are troubling us. This is the king of the house of Israel. This is the king that knows the history of this house from the time that Abraham got the covenant with God, from the time that Moses went on Mount Sinai. He knows the story of the Exodus. He knows all the marvels and the wonders. And if anybody knows the commandments of God, it would be Ahab. He comes to God's prophet, Elijah, and says, Art thou he that troubleth Israel? And he answered, I have not troubled Israel, but thou and thy father's house, in that ye have forsaken the commandments of the Lord, and that thou hast followed Balaam. That's the gist of it. The problem with all of this is commandment. Top to bottom. God doesn't have as much problem with Baal. God doesn't have as much problem with Asherah or any of these other gods as much as he has a problem with these people not following the commandment. I know many of you are caught up in God having a problem with these gods. God's problem, most importantly, is not so much with these gods, friend. These gods are all partakers of God's kingdom. God is the God of these gods. God has a problem with these people not following the commandment that God gave. These people would not honor their promise. They are bound to a contract. What we are looking at with the house of Israel and God, the children of the Hebraic house and God, is a contractual obligation. Literally. For a fuller purpose. But that purpose, at the time the contract was drafted, and even at the time that Elijah comes forth with this challenge, has not come into its fullness. They don't understand the fullness of this contract. They just feel like they're bound to a contract, to a promissory note that they don't really know the fullness of. But let's keep going.